Theon Greyjoy's betrayal of Robb Stark is one of the most shocking and heartbreaking moments in Game of Thrones. As a ward of Winterfell, Theon had grown up alongside Robb, sharing a deep bond of friendship and loyalty. But when the opportunity arose to prove his loyalty to his father, Balon Greyjoy, Theon chose to betray Robb and the Starks, leading to disastrous consequences for both families. But what if Theon had made a different choice? What if he had stayed true to his friend, Robb Stark, and never betrayed him? Had Theon remained loyal to Robb, the course of the War of the Five Kings would have been significantly altered. Robb Stark, the king in the north, had already been facing the pressure of managing a war on multiple fronts. The betrayal by Theon added another layer of complexity to his already fragile position. Theon's decision to side with his family and take Winterfell, effectively handing it over to the Boltons, resulted in the fall of House Stark's power in the north and paved the way for the disastrous Red Wedding. If Theon had not betrayed Robb, the Stark forces would have retained Winterfell, which was a key stronghold in their war against the Lannisters and the Boltons. Theon, as a skilled tactician, could have played a pivotal role in defending Winterfell, helping to fortify it against any enemy advances. His loyalty to Robb would have given the Northern Army a much-needed boost in morale, potentially changing the outcome of the war. The Stark-Bolton alliance. What could have been? Had Theon not taken Winterfell, the Boltons, already treacherous and known for their cruelty, would not have been able to establish themselves as the power in the north so easily. Theon's betrayal allowed the Boltons to cement their hold over Winterfell, ultimately paving the way for the Red Wedding, where Robb Stark, his mother Catelyn, and much of his army were slaughtered. If Theon had remained loyal to Robb, he would have been a key figure in holding Winterfell and ensuring that the Boltons had no way of gaining ground in the north. The Stark family's rule over Winterfell would have remained intact, and Robb's position as king in the north would have been far more secure. The Boltons, without Theon's betrayal, would have had little support from within Winterfell, and their ability to act as a major power in the north would have been severely undermined. The fall of the Boltons in this alternate timeline would have meant that Robb Stark could have focused more on the war against the Lannisters, allowing him to potentially strengthen his alliance with House Tully and House Arryn. The Lannisters, already stretched thin with their own problems, would have faced a much stronger northern force, making the outcome of the War of the Five Kings far less certain. Robb Stark's fate. The Red Wedding never happens. Perhaps the most significant consequence of Theon's loyalty to Robb would be the avoidance of the Red Wedding. The Red Wedding was a direct result of Robb's vulnerability after losing Winterfell, and his weakened position made it easy for the Frys and the Lannisters to trap him. Without Theon's betrayal, Robb's army would have been stronger, his alliances more secure, and his position as king in the north less exposed. If Robb had maintained control of Winterfell, he would have had a stronghold to rally his forces around. His ability to negotiate and defend his realm would have been bolstered by the presence of Winterfell's resources, and he would have been able to secure alliances with other noble houses more effectively. His marriage to House Frey's daughter could have been one of genuine political strength, and Robb would have had the chance to win over House Frey's loyalty instead of suffering betrayal. Moreover, without Theon's actions weakening Robb's position, the infamous betrayal of the Starks would not have happened, and the Red Wedding might have never occurred. Robb, with his family at his side, could have continued his war for the North. Without the devastating loss of the Red Wedding, Robb Stark would have been able to continue his fight, and his future, along with the future of House Stark, would have been far more secure. Theon's redemption and relationship with House Stark. Theon's fate would have been drastically different if he had remained loyal to Robb. Instead of being remembered as the man who betrayed his family and his friends, Theon could have redeemed himself in the eyes of the Starks. His loyalty would have earned him the respect of Robb, who had always seen Theon as a brother. Theon could have fought alongside Robb, proving his worth as both a warrior and a strategist. His redemption arc would have been one of the most powerful storylines in Game of Thrones. Instead of being cast aside as a traitor, Theon could have regained his sense of honor and been reintegrated into the Stark family. His bond with Robb, one forged through years of shared history, would have been solidified by mutual respect, loyalty, and the trials of war. In this timeline, Theon would have been a key ally in Robb's quest to retake the North, and his loyalty to the Starks would have been seen as one of the driving forces behind the success of House Stark. The impact on the War of the Five Kings. The War of the Five Kings would have looked vastly different with Theon's loyalty to Robb. Instead of being crippled by the loss of Winterfell, Robb's forces would have been able to launch a stronger offensive against both the Lannisters and the Boltons. Robb's alliances with House Tully and House Arryn would have been strengthened, and his claim as king in the north would have had far more legitimacy. Robb's northern army would have been more organized and better equipped, and the Lannisters, struggling with their own issues, would have faced a much tougher opposition. Tywin Lannister's ability to secure the Iron Throne would have been significantly weakened by the northern forces, especially with Winterfell under Stark control. The Lannisters would have had to reconsider their strategies and potentially seek peace with the North to prevent further escalation. Moreover, without the Red Wedding, the northern forces would have remained intact, making it more difficult for the Lannisters to maintain their hold on the throne. Robb's legacy would have been one of a king who fought for his people and his lands, rather than a tragic martyr who fell victim to political betrayal. If Theon Greyjoy had not betrayed Robb Stark, the entire political and military landscape of Westeros would have been vastly different. The North would have remained strong, Winterfell would have been in Stark hands, and the Red Wedding, that tragic turning point, would never have happened. Robb Stark's leadership would have been bolstered by Theon's loyalty, and the Northern cause would have had a much greater chance of success in the War of the Five Kings. Without Theon's betrayal, Robb's future, along with the future of House Stark, would have been more secure. The Lannisters would have faced greater resistance, and the balance of power in Westeros would have shifted in favor of the North. Theon's redemption arc would have become a key part of this alternate timeline, showing that loyalty, honor, and friendship could have led to a very different ending for House Stark.